Hey everyone, Retire on Dividends here. It's time for a weekly update. Everyone's favorite video, the Defiance versus Roundhill versus YMAX YMAG. So let's get to it. But first, I guess if you're new to the channel or new to this series, what we do is basically we compare Defiance ETFs versus Roundhill on a daily basis. Because what those funds do, they do 0 DTE or 1 DTE trades. One does, Roundhill sells calls, Defiance sells puts. So we compare the indexes that they trade on equally. For example, QQQY is Defiance. They trade on the NASDAQ, and QDTE is Roundhill. They also trade on the NASDAQ. So we figured we compare their two strategies each day to see how good they did based on what the NASDAQ did, for example. All right. Hopefully that made sense. And let's get to it. Anything highlighted in blue, that would be what we covered in previous weeks. So we can skip through that. All right. So starting with the Monday. And again, keep in mind the Monday will reflect this Saturday date. So 10/19, I believe, was the Saturday, but it does reflect the Monday's date. I don't know why it does it. It's Google Sheets. All right, so Monday, the NASDAQ went up 0.18%. All right, small change, right? The QQQY went up 0.41%, so that's pretty damn good. And then QDTE went up 0.33%. So on a slow day, slow upward day, we'll call it, both funds beat the actual index. But overall, Defiance did beat Roundhill, so QQQY took the win there. And then we go to Tuesday. The NASDAQ went up 0.11%. So again, another small gain. QQQY only went up 0.26%, but it did beat the NASDAQ. And actually, QDTE went down, which is unusual. It went down 0.07%. So another win for QQQY. Now, looks like the Wednesday, it tanked. So the NASDAQ went down 1.55%. And unfortunately, QQQY went down with it for the most part, obviously, plus the premium they made. So it didn't go down the whole way, but it went down 1.42%. QDTE went down 1.41%. So 0.01% off between the two. So that's pretty close. However, QDTE took the win by a small margin. And then here we go, ex-dividend date, the Thursday. The NASDAQ went up 0.83%. QQQY went up 0.45%. Again, we deduct out any movement from the distribution. QQQY went up 0.45%. QDTE went up 0.83%. So another win for QDTE. The following day, the Friday, the NASDAQ went up 0.59%. QQQY captured 0.47%, so it did not beat the index. And QDTE went up 0.64%, so it beat the index and it beat QQQY. So QDTE, although one of the days, very small margin, QDTE took 3 out of the 5. So Roundhill takes that one. Now, WDTE versus XDTE, this is again, Roundhill versus Defiance, but this is on the S&P 500. So I'll try to go maybe a little quicker for you guys. So Monday, the S&P went down 0.18%. WDTE, which is Defiance, went down 0.1%. XDTE only went down 0.02%. So XDTE for the win. Good job, Roundhill. Next day, where's it? S&P went down 0.05%. So very small movement right there. WDTE went up 0.12%. And then XDTE went down 0.17%. So WDTE took the win there. Next day, S&P went down 0.92%. So almost a whole percent. WDTE went down a lot. It actually went down more, 0.97%, but XDTE only went down 0.8%. So Roundhill with the win right there. It's hard. There's no really, I thought there was consistency. Now I'm seeing it kind of varies. So it's really hard to tell, I thought on down days, typically Defiance wins, but that's not always the case. All right, next day, the market went up 0.21%, market being S&P. WDTE for Defiance went up 0.37%. And then XDTE, it only went up 0.23%. So both beat the index that day. However, WDTE took the win. So they're tied 2-2. Here's the, here's the winner. NASDAQ went down 0.03%. So pretty much a flat day, right? I'm sorry, not NASDAQ, S&P. I can't think anymore. WDTE went up 0.12. And XDTE, oh man, another win by 0.01%. Guys, these are nail biters. Wow, it is coming close, down to the wire. But XDTE took the win. Roundhill beat Defiance again. All right, last but not least, we talk about the Russell version, which is IWMY versus RDTE. All right, Russell went down 1.6% on the Monday. Good Lord. IWMY only went down 1.25. IWMY obviously is Defiance. RDTE being Roundhill. RDTE went down 1.61%. So IWMY took that one. How about this next one? Tuesday, the Russell went down 0.37%. IWMY went down 0.24%. RDTE went down 0.21%. So RDTE for the win there. Next day, the Russell went down 0.79%. IWMY went down 0.94%, which obviously that's more than the Russell. RDTE only went down 0.69. So RDTE for the win. So 2-1 for Roundhill so far. But Russell went up 0.23% the next day. IWMY say, you know what? I'm going up 0.53. But RDTE only went up 0.31. So IWMY for the win. But both of them beat the index. It's crazy how a lot of the time they do beat the index. All right, last but not least, we have Friday for the win. Let's go. Russell went down 0.49%. IWMY went down 0.21%. And RDTE went down more, 0.33%. So no nail biter here. IWMY, the clear winner, 3-2. All right, so Defiance took that one. All right, now it's time to compare YMAX versus YMAG. There's no index or anything to compare the two. It's just pretty simple because a lot of people always ask, should I invest in YMAX and YMAG? So I figured, why the hell not compare these two, right? Even though they're the same, same fund manager, same umbrella, the same company. It's all for fun, right? All right, so let's compare it. Monday, YMAX went up 0.28%. YMAG went up 0.59%. So winner, YMAG. Next day, YMAX went down 0.51%. YMAG went up 0.32%. So winner, YMAG again. And then next day, YMAX went down 1.2%, but YMAG went down more, 1.58%. And then here's the, what is this? The Thursday. I believe this was after Tesla earnings. YMAX went up 1.31%. Both of them own Tesla, by the way. But YMAG owns a higher allocation of Tesla because they only own 7 stocks. YMAG went up 2.39%. So obviously YMAG took that one. And then Friday, YMAX went up 0.23%. YMAG went up more, 0.63%. So YMAG for the win by a lot, 4 versus 1. So YMAG did beat YMAX for this week. And someone did ask me, can you do like a running total to compare? I mean, we're pretty much doing that. That's the NAV War, right? So we'll get to that in a second. But first, who had the highest yield for this week? I don't really talk about the distributions, amounts per se, but I do talk about the yields. The distributions are shown on the other tabs. So what I do is I highlight the top 3. So the top 3 for this week overall, QQQY, IWMY, and YMAX. YMAX is the clear winner, yielding 68%, which is amazing. IWMY, number 2, 47% yield, and QQQY, number 3, with a 41% yield. And you can see the yield disparity. Defiance always typically beats Roundhill. Yeah, I mean, they always do. I don't think they're... Yeah, so far I've been covering it 3 weeks. They've always beaten the Roundhill competitor, at least on the yield war. About YMAX and YMAG. YMAG had a terrible yield this week, but they only paid out Microsoft's share, so there's nothing they could do. They had no chance. They won last week and the week before, though. So we'll see who wins this coming week. All right, now we talk about the NAV War. So the NAV War, what this does is it shows the movement, how much it went up each week, right? Just the NAV, all right? This is excluding distributions, the movement in just the NAV. So the NASDAQ went up 0.16% overall, QQQY went up 0.18%, and QDTE went up 0.32%. So QDTE did beat QQQY. However, both QDTE and QQQY beat the NASDAQ, so that's good. S&P 500 went down 0.96% for the week. WDTE went down 0.46%, and XDTE went down 0.62%. So WDTE for the win there. Overall, both of them did beat the index because the index did go down more. All right, now the Russell. The Russell went down 3.02%. IWMY went down 2.11%. RDTE went down a little more, 2.52%. So NAV War goes to IWMY. So Defiance for the win there. And they both beat the index. Fantastic. YMAX and YMAG. YMAX, really crappy week, but it did go up 0.12%. But, you know, compared to YMAG, YMAG is the clear winner of everyone. It went up 2.34%. But again, that's thanks to Tesla and their fantastic earnings. If you haven't seen it, Tesla went up like 25% this week or something. I don't know. Maybe overall, because it did have some down days. Maybe it was a 20% week. Who the hell knows? But it did go up a lot. So yeah, the top three, YMAG, QDTE, and QQQY. But overall, for the NAV War, Defiance had 2 out of the 3. All right. Now, Total Return War. This is, again, since I've been covering it, we will compare who has, you know, the best total return. I don't know. I added this down here. It honestly does not make sense, so we can ignore that. So let's look at total return, QQQY versus QDTE. Total return percentage, this includes distributions. Total return for QQQY is 0.76%. Again, this is since October 4th. So it's not even a full month in. So we got to give this some time before we overreact. QDTE, total return, 1.73%. So QDTE, overall, a better investment since October 4th. Better total return. In fact, it's almost up a whole percent. WDTE versus XDTE. Again, this is total return. All right, this includes the NAV, appreciation, plus distributions. WDTE total return, 0.12%. XDTE, 0.64%. So another Roundhill fund for the win. Not a huge win. It did win by 0.5%. Now, IWMY versus RDTE. IWMY went down 0.77%. RDTE did go down a little more by 1.06%. So IWMY took the win there. So as far as all three, Roundhill took 2. Defiance took 1. Now, YMAX versus YMAG, it's pretty close. YMAX up 2.08%. YMAG up 2.83%. You'll notice, though, YMAX and YMAG, they're kicking everyone's ass, total return-wise. Like, it's not even close. So, you know, that's just something to think about. I know we love the indexes, and we're comfortable investing in the indexes, which is why we invest in these other 6. But YMAX, you know, they're almost its own index. I mean, no, I know YMAG is kind of an index. It's just the Magnificent 7. It's a pretty good option, though. But again, they have to do well, right? We're lucky Tesla's earnings went well, or else YMAG would be in the crapper right now. But anyway, yeah, so that's the update on total return. All right, last tab. So what we do, we also track how many new buyers there are, because that's also important. You kind of want to be in a fund that grows, right? So if you look as far as QQQY, QDTE, QQQY, 50,000 outstanding shares less than the prior week. QDTE, 560,000 more. So people are buying more into QDTE and less of QQQY. As far as WDTE, no one bought into that, but XDTE, 240,000 outstanding share increase. IWMY, it's a decrease of 150,000. RDTE, it's an increase of 270,000. So between those, you know, Roundhill and Defiance, people are buying into Roundhill and people are leaving Defiance. Is it smart? Is it justified? I mean, total return wise, well, not for RDTE, at least on that, but total return wise for the other two, fine, sure. But I think they both, have their strengths, right? I do still think they complement each other. I know it's still early because we just started tracking this, but I do own all 6. I actually own all 8 of these in my dividend car account, if you guys saw that video. And it kind of works as a weekly income for me. So I am comfortable owning all 8 of these funds. I guess I'm owning them because I started tracking them like this. Because since I'm tracking them, I might as well invest in them, right? But, they're doing pretty good. They're all doing pretty good. Anyway, YMAX and YMAG, 1.3 million new outstanding shares. YMAG, 350,000 new outstanding shares. So everything is pretty much growing except Defiance. Now, if we look who has the overall assets under management lead, it's Roundhill. Again, Roundhill, keep in mind, Roundhill and Defiance, they have the 3 funds. YieldMax, we're only comparing the 2. But Roundhill, 753 million. YieldMax number 2, 514 million, and Defiance number 3, 416 million. Okay, so that's the update on everything. I'm pretty sure this is everything. I'm not sure what else I can cover, but it's a good way to compare, again, all of the funds. People care about yield. Okay, yield war. People care about NAV. Okay, NAV wars for you. Total return. Boom, we got that too. Growth in funds. Boom, we got that. All right, so we compare all 4 week in and week out. So I'll bring this content to you every week, every Saturday. Again, I plan to get it out on the weekend, but I shoot for Saturday afternoons. That being said, if you enjoy this content and you want to continue to see it, please hit the like button. It does go a long way. If you want to help out the channel, several ways. Easiest way, word of mouth, right? Share this video in a high yield chat that you're with, or Defiance group, or YieldMax group. Screw it, right? YieldMax group, Roundhill group. This goes in any of those groups. That's the beauty of it. But yeah, like I said, word of mouth goes best. As always, though, none of this is financial advice. I am not a financial advisor. This video is for fun and entertainment. So hopefully you had fun. Hopefully you're entertained. If not, we will try again next time. All right? Let me know also down in the comments since I have been making these videos, if you have changed your mind at all as it relates to Roundhill, Defiance, or YMAX, YMAG. Let me know your thoughts on that. Yeah, that's it. Again, hopefully I got everything. Feel like I missed something. I don't know why, but I feel like I missed something all weekend. Again, I'm away making videos in a car right now. So anyway, I'm out of here. Thank you for watching and enjoy the rest of your weekend. Later.